guys, welcome back to my channel. And first off, I just want to say thank you so much to Cricut for sponsoring today's video. So here's the thing, you guys, I'm in Ontario and we are in the middle of the strictest lockdown there ever has been. As such, I decided for today's video, it will be really fun to go around my home and see what I actually have that I can upcycle and transform into something cooler. So without further ado, let's go around and see what we can find here. I'm thinking I want to start out with a piece of art, so let's go. Now there are a few places I think I have some old frames. So this is one spot. Let's see what I have. Nope, so none of these are gonna work. Hello, look at all the dust here, very good. The other place I think I might have stuff. Ooh, this could work. Okay, so we have our art piece here. I actually DIY'd this a couple years ago. I got this ceiling tile for free and then I gold leafed over it and I really loved it for a long time. I still love it. I just think that it doesn't match my overall aesthetic anymore. So I am going to be transforming this and the goal is something that is a little bit boho, a little bit abstract. So without further ado, you guys, let's get into it. So the first thing I want to address with this guy is actually the frame, and my vision for it is to turn it into something that looks like wood. I'm thinking I'm going to attempt to use paint to paint a wood design. I mean, there is a more legit way that I read about like 3 years ago. I've been meaning to try it, but it's more complicated. So I'm gonna start off with this paint method, I think, and if it fails, I'll try the more legit method. Let's try this. So I'm just flipping that frame over and popping out the back. And just so you know, you guys, I am gonna be keeping that ceiling tile just in case I ever wanna use it again. But either way, once I have it out of that frame, I'm now going to give the frame a little sanding, just using a little piece of sandpaper. And next I'm going to grab my bag of disorganized paints and take out some that I can use to first mix up a light beige type color. So this is what I have, and I'm just adding a nice layer on there with a basic paintbrush. I'm making sure to get the inside edges as well as the outside edges. And then I'm mixing up another color with the paints, and this time it's a medium brown color. And this time I'm actually applying it more sparingly and wiping it off with paper towel to give it a grained look. This is the truth with where I'm at right now. Oh, I just dipped my hand in the paint. So it actually does look like wood. It just isn't the shade that I wanted. Like, what I actually wanted to do was just use the darker color as an accent to signify the grain, but like, instead it had to turn the whole color, and now like the undercolor is now the grain. So back on over it I go with a coat of the lighter paint, except this time I'm actually using a sponge brush and wiping off the excess that's there. It's actually leaving some really nice grain marks in there by using that sponge brush. So I really liked this method, and this is the method that I would recommend. What did I say in the last video? I'm always getting my fingers dirty. Exhibit 100. All clean. Okay, so this frame actually looks legit. I am so pleasantly surprised. So let me show you closer. So I do just want to show you the corners here. I did kind of do like a bit of a diagonal right at the corners, just so that it looks more like a real wood frame, because that's what would happen there. But I'm so impressed. Like, this looks so good. Okay, so for the main art, I want to do something that's abstract but also has some flair to it, and I'm going to be using my Cricut machine to do that. So I'm going to start off by designing a little image that I can work with in Cricut's design space. And by the way, Cricut has over 100,000 images that you can choose from, where you can upload your own artwork to get started with. So a little design that I think will be really cute is starting off with a circle as well as this half circle. And then I also found this really cool rainbow. I'm gonna line them all up centered, and I am lining this up on an initial board that is the exact same size of what needs to go in my picture frame, and so that is about 18 by 14. So I'm gonna hit the makeup button, and I'm actually gonna cut out the little circle and the half circle as stencils, so like using stencil vinyl. So just so you know, Cricut is incredibly versatile, and it really opens up your opportunities for the DIY projects that you can take on, and it gives you so many different DIY ideas that you can actually do, which is super cool. It cuts 100 different materials, okay? 100. Just to give you a little sample size here, I'm using it to cut vinyl, but it also cuts things like iron-on, cardstock, paper, bonded fabric, corkboard even, 100 different types of materials, and I think that is just amazing and honestly gives you so many different things that you can do from a DIY perspective as well. So I'm just grabbing my Cricut mat as well as some stencil vinyl that I've cut to size of my project. And this is gonna be for the top 2 shapes in the art print. So I'm just loading it in and it's cutting out the circle as well as the half circle. And then I'm going ahead and I'm just weeding out the 2 inside sections. And then to actually transfer this onto my piece of paper, I'm just grabbing some transfer paper, applying that and pressing it down. I then went ahead and peeled off the backing of the stencil and placed it down on a piece of multimedia paper that's cut to the size of the frame. I pressed that on and then peeled off the top transfer tape, and as you can see, I'm left with this perfect vinyl stencil that we can work with. Next up, I grabbed my super inexpensive Crayola watercolor paints and I'm painting in that top circle with a medium pink color, which I love. And then I'm going in with the yellowy orangey color, which actually ended up being rust, in that bottom half circle. And then when I was happy with how everything was looking, I left it to dry. Once it's dried, you can go ahead and peel off that stencil and look how satisfying that is, those perfect crisp lines. Next up, we're going to add on that bottom rainbow shape. So for that, I'm grabbing some removable matte black vinyl. I'm loading the mat into my Cricut machine and it's doing its magic, cutting out the rainbow shape. You see the design? There you go. Look how satisfying that is as I peel away the outside sections and it's left with this beautiful rainbow. And I just love it so much. So once again, I'm just applying some transfer tape on top, and then I'm placing it down overlapped on my new art print, pressing it in and removing that top layer of transfer tape. So here's the thing. I feel like I could have done a better job on the watercolor piece. Well, I think I need to test out a different method here. So for the second option, I'm just coloring in a piece of the multimedia paper with blocks of watercolor. So I did the orange on top and I did the circle of pink on the bottom. I cut them to size, I loaded them on my Cricut mat, and the Cricut machine is cutting out those perfect shapes. This time I'm going to be using the inside sections of the cuts. So as you can see there, and then I'm going to attach them onto the multimedia paper using some Elmer's glue. A stick glue probably would have worked a little bit better here, but I didn't have that. So I'm just applying that down, laying down my rainbow, and just like that, our brand new art print along with a brand new frame is complete. Okay, you guys, so here are the 2 prints side by side. This was the original version. What do you guys think? I can actually tell that the original version has a little bit more character, and then this version seems a little bit more perfect. It looks a little bit more like a typical print, I'd say. Which of the 2 do you like more? I think I was maybe a little bit too hard on myself with this version. I really like both of them. So I was thinking maybe I would sell these as digital art prints on Etsy, and I'll link them down below for you to buy if you're interested and would like one in your home. But anyway, I wanted to tell you a little bit more about Cricut because they are the sponsor of today's video. Upon getting my Cricut machine, I was the absolute most excited to make t-shirts. This is something you do not know about me. I love oversized sleep graphic shirts. Like, they are my jam. And let me just show you an example. Okay, I'm back. And I have a couple shirts that I just pulled from my drawer. Now, these are shirts that my husband has made me because he knows how much I like graphic shirts and I like collect them. So this is one that he had made for me. Happy birthday with our Bitmojis. This girl falling. How cute is this? Him giving me a cup of tea, and that's because he makes me tea every single morning, and I think that is so sweet. So my point being, this is just like a little example of how much I love them. And with the Cricut machine, you can make these. What? That is like my dreams come true. I am just so excited about that part. So not only does the Cricut machine have so many decor and DIY ideas, but it also opens up like, hello, ideas like this. Now, when I was at the dollar store, I picked up these shirts that are $1.25 in size extra large, which is perfect for me for when I go to sleep. And I'm going to add a really, really sweet quote onto it. It says, "Be like the flower that gives its fragrance to even the hand that crushes it," which is, I think, aspirational for anyone. And to do these projects, I'm actually using my Cricut Explore Air 2 machine. And with the number of materials it can cut, plus the fact that it can actually draw and score using the scoring stylus, there are like a million things you can do with this machine. Seriously, you can make custom gifts, cards, home decor, personalized mugs. Like, you can seriously sell stuff and start a small business with this, or customize labels for your business if you want to, or customize labels for around your home if you want to. You can even do that with the Cricut machine. And Cricut is also so easy to set up and get started with. It allows DIYers like you and me both to get up and running very, very quickly. I'm serious. You can make personalized gifts, cards, mugs. You can actually start a small business with this machine. It is that cool. And you guys, I'm back, and here is the end result. I love this so much. So thank you so much to Cricut for sponsoring this video. And without further ado, I will get on to the next DIY. So the next DIY up is going to be attempting to recreate something I actually saw on Pinterest. Now, here's the thing, I love flowers, exhibit A. I love dried flowers, I love drying my own flowers, and I saw this really, really pretty way to display them, so I thought it would be cool to recreate them and also show you how you can go about drying flowers. So since I need to go grocery shopping anyway, I will pick up the flowers and I'll take you along with me. All right, are you ready?
Yeah.
We're gonna go get some flowers. Surprise! You're on camera!
Too scared to be on camera.
Oh, I love these baby bouquets. So I picked up one of my favorite little bouquets that I found and brought that on home. I also picked up some little roses that I love, and I'm gonna be using a few flowers from each of these little bouquets. So I'm just separating them out, and once I've picked the ones that I like, I'm going to be attaching them actually onto an over-the-door hanger. I'm using some twine and I'm attaching a couple at a time, and I'm overlapping them, but I'm staggering the heights. Basically, you just want to make sure that they're not overlapped too much, because you want to make sure that there's not too much moisture from the flowers condensed in one area. Drying real flowers actually takes quite a bit of time, so I'm probably gonna leave them for maybe 2 weeks. But in the meantime, I can totally work on the base of it and have that ready to go. And I'm thinking for the base, I will make it out of wood, but the thing is, Home Depot is closed. So I'm going to have to rely on my own personal wood stash, and it's not that extensive. So let's go see what we have. I'm gonna check my cabinet. So I have these two little pieces here. I guess I can work with the bigger one. I think this is oak. So let's work with what we got. That's the name of the game today. So here's my piece of wood, and I'm actually just grabbing a Sharpie and marking out a row of 5 dots, followed by a row of 4 dots right behind it. Next, I'm going to grab my drill bits as well as my drill, and I'm going to take out a drill bit that is actually marked off to go 3/4 of the way through the piece of wood. After that, I'm layering a block of wood underneath my top wood so I don't go through it and drill through my floor. And I'm just drilling on those little dots that we made, making sure to only go down to the tape line. And you guys, looky looky, I didn't drill through the back. Woohoo! Okay, so are you excited to see what the flowers look like all dried? So I'm just cutting down the hanging flowers one by one, being careful not to damage them at all. So just a more close-up shot of the dried flowers. You can kind of see the colors that we're working with here. This one's super bright, these ones not so great. Baby's breath is good, and then all the roses are stunning. And then I will also supplement with some dried flowers that I have. So this is like this style that I typically use anyway. So we'll add them all together and see where we net out. So I'm just going ahead and cutting off little stems of the flowers and placing them in the holes. And for some of the holes, I am putting in more than one flower stem. And to get some of the stems to fit, you're just gonna cut it into a little point on the end and they will fit right in. You guys, I am in love with how this is turning out. I can't wait to show you, but first I just wanna ask if you are enjoying this video, it would mean a lot to me if you hit the like button. Also, I do have an Instagram account. It's at DIY Dalia with an underscore at the end, and it would mean a lot to me if you checked me out over there as well. So without further ado, here is the grand reveal of the DIY dried floral decor piece. So now is the moment of truth, you guys, and I want to know which of the projects in this video is your favorite. Is it project number 1, A or B? Is it project number 2 of my shirt? Or is it project number 3 of this stunning little dried floral piece? And as usual, I'm going to tell you which one is my favorite. Just kidding, because I actually love all 3 of them. I can't pick a favorite. I do just want to remind you I'm selling digital prints of these guys over on Etsy, and I'm linking it down below, so check that out if you're interested. And thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next week.